G'day everyone, welcome back. Bit of a different video today. Not a farming one, although you can see butters there. I just had to grab my gloves out of that. We are going to go out to Threear Lake today. It is Saturday the 31st of May. I need to go out there. I'll explain why in a little bit, but we're going to go out there. I'm going to take you with me. And I figured it'd be a good time to do a bit of a review on the seeding just gone by, the pros, the cons, what's happened, what's not happened. Yeah, just my thoughts on seeding and how it all went. So let's go for a drive. Right, what is Threear Lake? So Threear Lake is, well, we've got a couple salt lakes around us, well, to the north, I should say. Now there's a few. You've got Pyramid Lake, you've got Lake Tay, you've got Threear Lake. I think there's a few more there that have got other names, but those are the three main ones. Lake Tay is where there is the Gypsum mine, and that's where we get all our gypsum from. We might even, drive out there and just have a look at that, show you guys that. But yeah, we're going to go out to Lake Tay. We're going to go out to Threear Lake, and the reason for that is next week I'm actually hosting my my cousin's bucks party out there. We're all going out there for a weekend of camping and a bit of fun. And it's been a long time since anyone's going out there. It's a goat track to get out there. And there'll be trees everywhere that I just want to go and cut and trim now. Things like my ram, even like the forward, there's parts where the trees just overhang and you scratch. So we don't want to do that. So we're going to go and basically we're just going to go for a nice leisurely drive, just because I feel like it. It's the long weekend this weekend, and I figured why not go for a drive. You can just go and clear the trees when there's only me and not a convoy of 20 cars. So we'll do it that way. Now, if things are a bit different on here, it's because I'm using my old GoPro to film this. You'll see I've got the mic on because the audio from that isn't that good. So hopefully I remember each time I need to turn the mic on to talk to you guys to make that all work. Hopefully that sun doesn't get in the way. That didn't do a thing to you guys, so we'll just leave it like that. And if things change, it's because I'll be using this camera as well. So this is the Canon, and it'll be used so that we can film everything and show you guys what's going on when I get out of the ute. When I tell you it's a goat track, I really do mean it. So I'll show you. So we're turning in here. Look at that, there's a nice little sign to let us know. Now the thing is, when we come out next weekend, we're actually forecast for quite a fair bit of rain. And when that focuses, I'm going to be putting it into four-wheel drive high. We're actually predicted for quite a fair bit of rain. So this could actually be quite wet. So we're just going to see what happens. We'll obviously be able to get through the day. So for this next week, I think even today we're predicted for rain. So all the way up until Friday, I believe it's 1 to 5 every day, 60% chance. Now if we get that, obviously it's absolutely amazing, and I do hope that everyone over east is getting the rain as well, because I do know how dry you guys are. But again, I'm just sort of letting you know how we are over here and what we're doing and how the season's progressing for us. So yeah, if the rain comes, it'll be fantastic. The crops, obviously, they've got moisture. More moisture is obviously better, without being too greedy. But anyway, let's kick off the start of this sort of review process. Since we started seeding, so we started on the 7th of April, but I started uploading on the 14th of April, and I recorded every single video, I recorded every single day of seeding, and that was 35 videos straight, except for obviously, we didn't put them up on the weekends, just because it gave me that little bit of time to be able to edit and catch up and all that, so I could do the big dump, big edit, big dump. But yeah, 35 videos is what we did. Now I've got it written down so I don't forget. That was 499,500 views, which is just mind-blowing. It's 117,200 hours have been watched, which is just, yeah, I can't fathom that. That's so much time. And 1,400 new subscribers since we started from the 14th of April. So to everyone who's joined us, welcome. And to everybody who's been here for the long run or just joined us along the way, yeah, just you guys have all been amazing. And obviously, as you guys know, we hit that 20,000 subscriber mark during the time. So it was a huge milestone to hit. It's one that has always just been quite out of reach, and we finally got there. So again, I just want to thank you guys so much for that. It was, you know, it's a great community that we've built here with Tom's Brook Farm on YouTube. So yeah, obviously I can't do it without you guys. Massive thank you to you guys, and yeah, we've got some big plans coming up for Movember, which I know you guys are going to support us for, but we'll go into that probably on a later date, later video. So yeah, that's I just wanted to say a big thank you for everyone who's tuned in and watched. It's been a joy for me to actually record every single day of seeding. I think about, you know, in the future I'll be able to look back and could quite literally just sit down and watch a whole seeding. When I'm 60 years old, I can go back and watch it and be like, wow, you know, why was I doing it that way? Or how amazing have things come, that things have changed so much since then. And I hope that for people who haven't got much knowledge in farming, it's really brought your attention to it and given you guys a bit of a grasp on just what happens on a farm. I try and explain to you guys my decision-making process as much as I can whenever I'm doing videos, and try and explain to you guys, you know, the reason behind what I'm doing, and, you know, the reason we're going to go and do this or spray that, or why we're seeding this, or, you know, why we're making, I don't know, why we're making the fire truck or anything like that. But I just hope that it's helped, you know, to, you know, bridge that divide and to show you guys, people who haven't got the knowledge, you know, what goes on a farm. And I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you find it, you know, educational. So we'll keep on driving. I'll pull up the camera. It looks like someone's actually been out here recently, because there are fresh tracks on the track out in front of us, but normally no one comes out here. This could be the dogger, because out here is a national park. So is it a national park? I don't think it actually is. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of 1080 poison out here, so obviously you don't bring your dogs or anything out here when you go anywhere. So we'll see when we get past a point where where we're at, and we'll keep on going with our video. Right, just had to deal with a tree that was in the way. Let me show you the topography out here. So what is actually really cool is, that's my sensors, don't worry about them. So you see all these trees like this, eventually it does turn to just like the Nullarbor, you know, no trees. But right now it's very tight, very very narrow, because, you know, it's a goat track. No one drives down here, especially not in a Ram. Probably not the smartest idea, but I was planning to bring the Ram out next week, so I wanted to make sure that it fits. Plus, you know, one of my mates has got a Chevy, so I want to make sure that his can get out too. Anyway, let's start the bit of a review on everything. So we'll start obviously with Bandit, and you know, you guys already know basically the whole story behind it, but we'll start with Bandit. First of all, Bandit is a fantastic tractor. The case, obviously, we're talking about here, the road track. Fantastic tractor, operated, you know, amazingly. It pulled the bar without any issues. I know a lot of people worried about issues. I was going to have to chip it. No issue at all pulling that bar. It was perfectly fine doing that. The fuel consumption. Now I know a lot of people keep asking me about the fuel consumption between the Johnny and the case. I think they're about par. Now I don't have the exact numbers, but the case was probably a tiny bit thirstier, but they're basically on par. Didn't really notice a huge difference swapping from tractor to tractor. Now, obviously we did swap tractors, so we'll dive into that. I went to, you know, the what is it, 95? No, what are they now? 97. Oh god, whatever Rex is. The 540 horsepower, 9540. There we go. So I went to that because the case, I was having a lot of issues with connectivity. Obviously, when the John Deere is supposed to talk to everything, ISOBus, that's the whole point. Now, when I did initially look for bars, I was always going to go for a seed hawk. In my mind, I was set on a seed hawk. That's the only thing that's coming on here. And that was my decision for why I went to the case. The tractor in the first place was like, well, it's only got a pull. I'm never going to have a John Deere bar behind it because I didn't realise John Deere did Seedmaster. We'd had a conserver pack in the past and we'd never go back to something like that. So I was always, no, I'm always going to be a seed hawk. That's what it is. It's just going to be a seed hawk. We can get our seed placement, and I know that bar. I trust it. So I was never concerned about a connectivity issue between the case and whatever bar was behind. Then I couldn't get a quote from Vadestad for over a year. Vadestad were horrible. They wouldn't come to the party. They were saying that they weren't bringing him in, or they would only bring the 40 foots. They weren't going to even bring the 60 foots or the 80 foots. Then they weren't going to bring the big bins in as well, which is what I wanted. Now, that's when I ended up going for a John Deere, and I signed for the John Deere. I was assured that the John Deere would work with the case. As you guys all know, that was not what happened. The case, I don't know. I still don't know to this day what it was, but I'm going to say it's a power issue. It just couldn't power everything. So you had 5 rate controllers. So bin 1, bin 2, bin 3, bin 4, and the liquid cart. And you had 2 receivers, one on the bar and one on the tractor. And it just couldn't do all of that at all. It was too much for it, and it would drop the true set, which is the packing pressure system. Get rid of that receiver on the bar, hey presto, you could use it. But just like an old person using a computer, you'd press the button and you weren't sure if you pressed the button or not, so you press the button again, and then you're still not sure if you pressed it, so you press it again, and then finally the screen would pop up. But that's because you actually pressed it correctly the first time, and that would frizzle out the whole thing. It would all freeze, everything would drop. You had to then turn it off and then back on, and because it was so slow, that took about a half-hour process for everything to turn off and then turn back on, reboot the screens, find the job, connect, ready to go. Okay, 1, 2, 3, turn all your things back on, and off you go. So my stress level was just through the roof with how this was working. And obviously I knew that a John Deere would fix this issue because John Deere is compatible with John Deere, Apple, Android, Apple and Android. They don't compute. So when I made the decision to go for the John Deere, it was just a hypothetical at the time, and I just wanted to, we talked it out with the accountant, and whatever I did, I wanted to make sure that there was no financial stress put onto the business. Obviously, you guys seeing me buy an expensive tractor, you go, oh geez, things must be good for old JH, no issues on that farm, it's bloody easy as out where he is. Not the case. So essentially, we've got a loan for it, and what I did with this loan for obviously we had to repay out the case, and then with the loan on the which then goes under the loan of the new tractor, and basically all we did was we've extended it, so we're going for a 7-year period, and we're paying the exact amount that I was paying with the case. So there is no financial financial pressure put onto the farm at all by going to the case. Going to the Rex, because we just kept it at the same payment. So it actually was the smoothest transition we've had for machinery. and then it was a quick turnaround to get it, which was fantastic. And then obviously Rex is an amazing tractor. It is, I mean, John Deere, they do a cab well. The cab is just so nice. It's so comfortable. The operator is very comfortable. You've got it's autonomy ready, so eventually we'll be able to go autonomous with that tractor. It's a whole issue in itself, which you guys fired up about for some reason, but we'll get into that later on. And I know that you guys and some people with other things have been able to lift their tines and turn and do all that. It was our first time being able to do that with a tractor, and to be able to do it with the seeder with the turn automation and the tine automation was just amazing. It was next level good. It was fantastic. It just meant that it was always turning perfectly. No one was turning too sharp. It wasn't going to break, which was just great. But it did have its downfalls. It has lacked in power for a 540 horsepower tractor. I reckon the case would have pulled through some of those bog parts that we got bogged in compared to what the Johnny did. The Johnny just seems to bog down in power. I'm not sure why, but I reckon the case pulls harder than the Johnny. It's got a higher upper end, I reckon, so you're able to just keep revving it, whereas when it's, I don't know, the Johnny just dies. So there's that. And also, it wasn't just a smooth transition of going from case to John Deere. The blockage monitors, they never worked, as you guys know. They were on, off constantly until we got into the wheat, and finally, I'm not sure what they did, but they finally got them sorted, but they were still dropping out every day or so, and then sometimes it would drop out every hour, but it wasn't the every 30 seconds that we had. So there was still the downfall of that with the tractor, but I'm very happy that I did change and go to the John Deere. I was sad to see the case go. I did love the case. Farmer Centre and Esperance have been great to me, and it was a fantastic tractor. And if you don't have John Deere gear, or you're not planning to have a John Deere compatible thing behind it, I'd highly recommend going for the case. It was a brilliant tractor, and they are cheaper than a John Deere, which is the whole reason why I went for it. That hill that we just went up then is my only concern for us getting out here. Everything else is pretty fine. It's all like, it is a sandy track, but that there, it wouldn't have shown up on the drone, but I was struggling to get up that a little bit with the Ram. Two things, my tyres are up at 35, and I also have bitumen tyres on. So there's that's obviously going to struggle to get up that. One thing I am noticing is I'm getting a bit of pinstriping happening down the side of my car, which is not ideal. But anyway, that happens. I'm also going to be towing a trailer next weekend. So coming up that hill, I'm making sure I'm going to have a ute in front of me so that someone can tow me up and get me over the top of that, because I reckon I won't make it. Anyway, let's continue on our review. Now we'll get into the breakdown. The breakdown that we had. 5 days into seeding, we had the major breakdown, which was the liquid cart was reversed too far and snapped essentially. So the gooseneck dislodged from the wheels and got locked, and caused a lot of damage. First thing to address on that is a lot of people did say the Earnshaw should have stopper bumper plates on the turntable itself to avoid that happening. They do. So that is why it broke the way it did, because it was pushed around onto those bumper plates, and then it was then pushed too far, and then it snapped. And I mean, I'm just speculating because obviously no one was there to see it, but that is what's happened. I think it would actually be better if Earnshaw didn't have those stopper plates on there. So if I reckon, I don't know how far it was reversed, but I think if it was to just to have the gooseneck come the whole way around the A-frame, we might have had a bit of damage on the cart maybe, but I think that would have been a better option, because it would have just pulled and then it would have been fine. Who knows, might not have been, but that's my speculation. So on that video, there was a lot of positive comments on that video. There was also a lot of hate on that video, and you're going to get that. I'm very public, and obviously you just got to take it on the chin when people comment negative things. Now, the reason I did film that video was to, I wasn't going to hide it from you guys. Something happened on the farm. It was pretty major, and I felt that it needed to be shown. I did say in the video that I wasn't going to be in the right headspace, so take that into account. Some people obviously didn't take that into account. I got emails from people and lots of hate comments on there, but that's all right. We just take that on the chin, and we learn. Now obviously we don't reverse the bar at all unless I'm there watching it, which we had to do a few times. One of the main comments was that the staff haven't been adequately trained to perform the job, and that's why this happened. I don't believe so. I think that the guys were all pretty well cluey on the whole situation. It was just a very unfortunate incident. No blame on anyone. It was just an unfortunate incident that occurred. And and to be perfectly honest with you guys, so when it happened, I got a call. I was on the phone to my accountant, literally talking about getting this new tractor, and I got a phone call from the driver, and I said, I just sent a message, call back in a bit, I'm on the phone. They then sent me a message saying that the wheels were locked on the Flexion cart, and I was like, what's going on? I said, send me a photo. And then my accountant heard me swear like an absolute sailor, because the photo was, it wasn't a good photo. The angle and the way the rubber had gone on the thing, it looked like the whole frame had been ripped open, which it wasn't. It was quite an easy fix. And then got down there, talked to the driver, very calm, and just said, what happened, and he explained what he thought had happened. I then drove away to see where he had started, and first thing I did was call Dad, and this is getting very vulnerable with you guys, but called Dad, and Dad was at my kids' sports carnival in town, and Dad could immediately tell something wasn't right, and I just said, it's not good today. And he goes, oh God, what's wrong? And I said, the cart's effed. And then Dad just was like, are you okay? And then I just broke down in tears. I just, you'd put all this effort, research, money, and obviously been very public. To have that happen, I thought that we weren't going to have the liquid cart anymore, because it was just going to be too big of a fix. What are we going to do? Lots of things are going through your head. And I broke down. It was a very emotional day for me. It was very hard for me to I don't know. It was just a very emotional thing. Once I got over that, sent the driver home, and then got Henry up to give us a hand. I called Rhiannon, then broke down again talking to Rhiannon, And yeah, it was a bad day. Took a massive hit on my mental health that day, and yeah, trust me, when the hate comments came through, it just made it even worse. But I just got through it. You get through it. It's all right. It's not a pity woe is me moment. It's just I'm being completely honest with you guys about what happened, and you know, you go and watch that video, you can see exactly what we did, how we addressed it, and you know, we were stopped for 5 days. Earnshaw were amazing. They got the cart fixed and back up and running. So a massive thank you to them, and definitely to Jacob for coming out there and doing it in the paddock. That was an awesome effort. It actually wasn't a blessing, but it was a blessing because we didn't keep seeding into the rain because I didn't want to have Henry come back and spray the Flexian on top. You get it tied up in stubble, it's not worth it. You lose 30% of it at least. So I wanted the liquid cart, so I was going to wait. We had all this rain coming. Now I'll get into the rain later, but we ended up with like 95 mils. And if I kept going, I definitely would have had to have reseeded some of the country that we were going into. So there's that positive there that you can look at, saying that, look, that was a positive that we didn't end up seeding and then have to reseed. So that was good. There was also the positive that you know, Dad caught the wheel bearing on the axle of the trailer, the Flexian trailer. So imagine if we had just got back into seeding and then that happened. So, you know, that took us a whole day to replace that axle. Yeah, it was obviously very bad, but there was things that we got done in the meantime. So it was good in that sense. Yeah. Anyway, now I know this is going to be a long video, guys. Just the way it's going to be. So yeah. I hope you guys stick along to the end, because when I get out to the lake, it's really cool, and I am going to show you all that. I'll get the drone out when we're out there and show you. It's a great picnic spot and, you know, camping spot. We've camped out there with our caravan. Dad's done it. Yeah, it's honestly, if we ever did like a Tom's Brook meetup sort of event thing, something like this is something that I'd do. You know, not going to a pub or something like that. Like getting everyone to come out here and, you know, go camping out here for a weekend. It's a cool spot. So we'll keep on traveling, and then I'll keep on chewing your ear off about seeding. So we're still obviously in the very tree area of this track. Now you can see just how overgrown it does get, because people don't drive down here very often. But I'd say that, and honestly, it looks like there's been someone out here very, very recently. But anyway, time to discuss the rain, and you know, the rain we've had, and yeah. Now I want to preface it with obviously just letting you guys know about our rain situation. I'm not trying to rub salt into anybody's wounds. I do hope that by now, over in SA and all that, you guys have got your rain that's very much needed. But yeah, we'll get on with our rain. So we've had some very dry years of the last couple of years have been very dry. And as you guys know, we've been carting water from different dams to spray. Those dams all went dry. We were down to that last dam, E Block, and I honestly thought that I was going to be carting water from town in order to do spraying for the knockdown, and also, well, we probably wouldn't have had to do a knockdown if it was that dry, but just a pream. So for January we had 5 mils of rain. For February we had 9 mils of rain. And then March, obviously getting very close to seeding, that's when we're a bit, you know, starting to get a bit worried about the rain and the water. But we jagged that thunderstorm, and that was 32.5 mils we ended up with in March, which was fantastic. It meant that we got a green pick out in the paddock. We were able to spray it. We were able to get a double knock, which we haven't done a double knock in years. And it was great, and it came down quite quickly because it was a thunderstorm. It meant that we got runoff into our dams. Now it was not all the dams, but a few key dams got enough water in there that we were able to start, you know, using again, which was, yeah, such a relief. I know the mental toll having no water brings on a farmer. So if you guys are still dry, I feel for you, and I know exactly what you're going through. We then, as you guys know, and I just touched on it, we had that big rain in April. So for April, we actually ended up with 112.5 mils of rain, which was absolutely just amazing. It filled, as you guys know, all of our dams. We got so much moisture in the ground. It was a runoff rain, but the rain did go for 24 hours, so it did mean that it did soak up into the soil. As you guys know, every time we were seeding, it was germinating within 3 days, which again, just absolutely amazing. And then for May, we've only had 13 mils. Today's the last day of May, so we're not going to get any more rain for May. So 13 mils, which brings us to a total of 172 mils for the year. Now, I think it was 23, we had 175 mils for the year, and I believe that was our driest ever year on record, and it's a testament to how far farming's come. We grew I think it was a just below average crop, so it was amazing how well we did on such a little amount of rain, and I just can't wait for this year. I really hope that this year is so much better rain-wise, that if we're at 172 mils now, hopefully we can get past our long-term average, which is 400 mils for us. So I'd hope for 450, 500, something like that, and just see what the potential of is for our crop. I'd love to get some big crops off. It'd just be amazing, and hopefully normally when you have a good year, the prices are really bad for selling, but we'll just see what happens with that one. That's the rain. I suppose we should just delve straight on, and we'll go straight on into the bar. The bar. You guys know that we've. I'm just gonna quickly pull up. We've literally just changed our topography here, and it goes to these nice tall trees, which is it's just awesome. It just changes like that. It's just unreal. So anyway, the bar. We'll start with the negatives that you guys already know. It didn't come the right width. The spacings weren't at the right spacing, and the hoses are absolutely shocking. And the bearings had no grease in them. Now John Deere have come back to me saying that that doesn't matter. Bearings, they're obviously, because we grease the dust cap. We grease the dust cap just so that it's got something to push against when you're greasing, and it just makes sure that the bearing has always got grease on contact. And okay, fair enough. They don't grease the dust cap, but they didn't even grease the bearings. You go back and look at those videos. I've got a whole bunch of photos of it. You can see the rollers. The grease is so burnt. My theory, because I never took one apart, because I didn't have the bearing all the time, all I did was pack the bearing, put it in there, and that was it. The reason I say that is because we did 200 pumps of grease on each hub, because the hubs obviously have grease points, but I think it's every 100 or 200 hours, or might even be 300 hours that you pump grease into them, and it was 200 pumps per hub that we greased. So that's a lot we did, I think, 6 or 7 cartridges of grease on the bar, just on the wheels. So obviously that meant that they hadn't greased the hubs, and just absolutely shocking. Anyway, they're not gonna do anything about it. But the bar, they are working hard to address the spacing. They're going back and forth with John Deere, and John Deere are being pretty silly about it, but AFGRI in town are being really good on it. So I'm grateful for those guys, and they're just working hard on it, getting it sorted. It will be sorted, and they will get it sorted within the next month or two. They're just got to keep going back and forth with old John Deere to make sure that everything's right. Now, what I don't understand is There's obviously got to be a fair few of these 80-foot bars sold. I don't know, maybe there's not. But why is it that mine is so hard to get? Maybe people aren't, this might be the first one on 12 inches. Maybe they're normally on 10 or 8. That's the only thing I can think. Anyway, so those were the negatives. The positives were, it was a fantastic bar. I would 100% buy one again. And I would 100% encourage anyone looking, towards a bar, have a look at the John Deere. Now, you guys have seen the issues that I've had, but that now means that you guys can then address those issues before it comes to your farm. You can make sure that it's PD correctly, and you can even pull them up on it. Open a grease thing when it gets to you. Go, no, that's not good enough. Take it back, do it again. So you can learn from my experience and hopefully upgrade it better for you guys if you guys head that way. But I strongly advocate for someone looking towards getting a new bar to look at John Deere, the Seedmaster. It is a fantastic bar. The stubble flow was absolutely amazing. In the whole year, I think we had 6 or 7 stubble blocks. We would do that in a run with the Borgo, even when seeding on the angle. So it was just amazing for stubble flow. The only thing I can think of why that is compared to the Seedhawk has a chain between the two tines, and also I believe the tines are a lot closer together. So the seed and the fert on a Seedhawk compared to Seedmaster, that's what the brothers had a difference for. So it meant that the stubble was able to flow around that shield, and then it goes in between the two tines and then it rolls out. So it was perfectly fine on that. Plus you had, we extended the ranks to make it so that we had a deeper bar. So it's only a 3-rank bar, but it's so deep that it just meant that anything was able to flow out of it, which was just fantastic. Now the seed placement is just next level good. You cannot get that with a single tine machine. You just can't. With the John Deere, you can put it exactly where you want it, and especially for something like canola, to know exactly where you're putting it is fantastic. So important as well. And then I was able to slow my fans down compared to what I had to have with the Borgo, because the Borgo had that giant buddy section control system that it had to push all the seeds up, and then they had to come down and then shoot out to the whole bar, which meant you had to use a lot of wind. And it meant that we were getting seed bounce and we just weren't getting seeds where they were supposed to go. And so having the fans slower obviously meant that we could get a better seed placement, which was just great. I mean, there's a few other things, niggly things that happen on the the bar, like the O-rings and things like that. But other than that, I absolutely love the bar. And if you want to get one, I would highly recommend you getting one. If you're looking at bars, you'd be silly not to look at one. Now, you might have a completely different preference. Obviously, you might be a Morris guy, but it's always worth comparing. And oh God, that was a bit of a bump. I absolutely loved the bar. It was fantastic. So things like this is what we need to get off the track. Obviously you can you can drive around if you want, but we're not going to do that. Now I can tell that someone's been out here because they've obviously had a side-by-side, and there must be a few two-wheelers, because there are skid marks everywhere. They've had a lot of fun. Oh man, I'm going to have to cut that. That's too heavy for me. So we're going to cut this off the track just so we can get around. That one that's up there, that's an old tree. Hang on, let me zoom in. That is an old tree that's on the track, so you can see that everyone has gone around it and made a new track. But that's why we will we'll get this one off so that we don't create a new track. We want to make sure we just stay exactly where we are and not disturb the bush. Right, we are getting very close to the lake now. It's gone quite quickly. It's been good chatting to you guys. It sort of takes away the time. Let's talk about the next thing, the bar. So the bin. It's behind the bar. The bin was absolutely, no fault to it. The first time we've had scales, which has been just, that has been fantastic to have scales, because you know you're going out at the correct rate, you know what you're putting in, you can work out exactly like how much you need to finish the paddock, so you're not overfilling the truck, especially when it comes to something like a variety change, things like that. That was awesome. Having we don't have the Easy Cal, but the calibration on it was still very easy. I don't know if the Easy Cal, is worth the money. It's like a 10 or a 15 grand option. So just think about that if you're going for the bin. But having it doing we did an auto cal once a day per bin. And I reckon it was keeping its rate pretty bloody good. The only issue we had was when we had the case, because of the whole issues we had, it couldn't do GPS speed. So it was, we had a few issues with that. But the bin, amazing. Can't fault it. It was fantastic the whole time. The next thing behind that, the liquid cart. The liquid cart itself was great. Can't fault that, especially once we had the breakdown. Earnshaw were fantastic getting out and fixing it, so that was really good. We used the LQS 120, I think what it was, as a liquid system. Can't fault it. It was really good. Just getting the pressure right was really hard on the case, but as soon as we got to the Johnny, with all the oils being where they should be, it was no worries at all. We never had a block. Now that's probably due to what I put in there. Even when I had what's it called? When we had the breakdown, we didn't flush it. It wasn't on our mind at the time. Look at that, we're here. Wasn't on our mind at the time, so we never flushed it. And that meant that I was worried that it was going to block, but it didn't. And that's probably down to the fact of what I'm using. Also, because I'm going such a high rate, 93.4 litres, we had the bigger orifice hose, so obviously things can get through that a lot easier than what they would with the smaller hose when you're doing smaller rates. We're using the purple hose. I don't know what the other colours are, but the others are smaller. Anyway, liquid cart was good, and I would highly recommend anyone who's looking at upgrading to, when you're upgrading your seeding system like I did, you want to upgrade. You don't want to just buy the same thing. When you're going forward in farming, you want to make sure that you change something in your system that you're going to improve whatever you're doing. And for me, the big thing was liquid. I wanted to change our liquid change to liquid because urea I felt wasn't doing the job. We weren't getting as much down as what we wanted. And with the liquid system, it meant that we were able to put trace elements in. So the zinc, the manganese and the copper, that's in now, and the plant is accessing that right now. So it's not getting deficient in that. So when we come back for our foliar spray in 3 weeks, it will be getting the top up then, instead of getting its first initial zinc, man, copper when it's starving for it. So in the long run, that should mean that the plant is healthier, and you're going to get a better yield at the end. The other thing is we were able to put flutriafol, so we got that off the fertilizer, and we were able to put the insecticide, the Cruiser Opti, in the liquid system instead of on the seed. It means that you didn't have the dangerous dust flowing around for the guy who's filling the bin at the top there, which meant that it's another human safety sort of thing that we're doing to make sure that we're looking after everybody. And if you're thinking of going liquid, it is a massive move. You've obviously got to think about how you're going to fill it when you get out in the paddock, how you're going to brew it up back at the shed. Whatever your system is that you're going to decide to do, it is massive. It is a massive thing to figure out and do. But I think it is a much better system to do liquid than to do urea. Especially for us, we did that 90 litres of flexi N, so we've gone so high in our N that we haven't had to be rushing out and spreading urea right now. Every run next to me, around me, I'm seeing spreaders going day and night to try and get out before this rain that's this week. Ours has already got it. We don't need to be out there rushing, trying to do that and deal with a dodgy spreader, or making sure your spread pattern's correct, and it's too windy today so we can't actually spread. The flexi N's already there. So yeah, if you're looking to do it, yeah, I recommend doing it. Anyway, we're here at the lake, so we'll crest over the top and I'll show you it. Oh, bit of a bump there. And that is Threear Lake. All right, we're gonna go for a walk down to the lake. You can sort of drive there, but you can't. You can get there on a motorbike, not really in a car. There's no real track to get down there, so we'll just go for a walk. And we'll talk about the last thing, which is the Earnshaw seed and super bin. Now that performed flawlessly. We obviously had the Nourish, the 3-bin Nourish. The Nourish wasn't tall enough to get over the Borgo. The wheels were too wide on the Borgo, the auger was in the way. We just couldn't do it. We couldn't make it work. We tried so many times. We just couldn't do it. So we were forced to go through one at a time through the auger on the bottom, which caused a lot of dramas because one, it meant that we were doing one at a time through a slow bin, so it was slow. Two, the auger on the bloody Borgo kept doing bloody, what's it called? Shear bolts on the top. And it was just a nightmare. Fills were taking an hour. It was just horrible. The Earnshaw, going to a 2-bin system, because obviously we went liquid, so no urea, meant that we were able to load 2 at once. And because we got such a big motor on there, you could absolutely feed it to it. That's why we lifted up the chutes, and I reckon I'll be lifting up the chute on the fertilizer one next year to make it go that little bit quicker. Because yeah, it's too slow. But it was, yeah, it was fantastic. If you are looking yourself to go for a new, upgrade your seed and super bin, I highly recommend looking at the Earnshaw. Now, you've got other things out there. You've got like the tornado. You've got I can't think of the names of them. You got belly dumpers. You got ones that have got, you know, the big conveyors that swing out, and you know they load as well. But I quoted all them. Very, very expensive. When you're doing a belly dumper, you're still going through the auger that's on your machine. Now that you could have that for a multi-purpose. So there's obviously it suits your farm to your needs. But the problem with going through the auger is that any auger you use just takes so long for it to get out. And I mean, once you're going, you know, you'd be able to funnel it in. But me, who's loading all my products at the one time, I'm going to beat you by a third of the time, and I'm going to be out seeding. And as we know, when you're seeding, when you're not seeding, it's costing you money. You need that seeder going. I hope the wind's not too bad. I do have this backup mic here just in case. But yeah, anyway. So if you are looking towards yourself going for a thing, I do highly recommend going and seeing the Earnshaw. They do take them to all the field days. They do the Newdigate, they do the Darren. I believe they do the ones over east as well. So yeah, definitely go and check it out if you're looking that way. And the service of you, as you guys have seen, and it's not just because I've got a YouTube channel that they were quickly out to do it. They do that for everybody. It's not just for me. Their service was unbelievable. You know, I called them up on a Friday. They were down that day to take the A-frame back, and then they came down on the Tuesday because Monday was raining. So yeah, it was amazing, their service. So yeah, that's I think that's nearly the review on all our gear and how everything went. Obviously the boom spray went without a hitch. You know, Henry just off doing his own thing. Always can always rely on Henry to get anything done. The man's a machine. So as you guys know, he's always out there just spraying away whenever spraying's needing done. So yeah, no issue with the boom spray. And this is Threear Lake. Now I know it's really windy because I mean there's nothing out here, so it's just an absolute, maybe if I do that might be a bit better. It's just an absolute wind farm tunnel thingy. Anyway, wind plane. Anyway, oh there we go. That's what I was waiting to see. Look at my feet. Because we had all that rain, you know, that 112 mils of rain, might not show up in the camera, but there's water over there, and there is also water over there. Our plan is to play, so we're doing a golf day out here for the Bucks party, and our plan is to go out here and make some golf greens, golf field. What is it? Golf holes. What's the term? Anyway, the plan is to be out here and make some golf holes, play some golf out here. Everyone bring out a couple motorbikes and some side-by-sides, so we've got some buggies. But if we get this rain this week, so you know it's chance of 1 to 5 every week, every day. Could be quite wet out here. We've got some other stuff to do, so it's not too bad. But the idea was to have a big golf course, like a big four-hole golf course out here. I mean, it's very flat. There's no trees in the way, but you can imagine just the amount of fun that you could have out here. I reckon if people do bring buggies out, they are going to get bogged, evident by my feet here. But yeah, this is so it's a salt lake, and my boots are getting very, very heavy. Well, for those that are still here, we'll go down to where we camp. My Terminator fire pit should still be down there. Obviously up on top there, very well, not as windy as you'd expect as what the lake was, but you can see how the land just drops straight off. So you got this big berm here, and what we do is we camp pretty much straight down in front of me there, is where we sort of set up shop, and we'll see if we can find the fire pit, and I'll show you the kids' cubby house. Right, well, this is where we set up shop when we come out. We had the caravan here. Those are our stumps. That's where the old fireplace is. I'm not too sure where the Terminator fire pit is, because Dad used it last and they might have camped somewhere else. Thankfully I've got Starlink on the top there, and I've just sent him a Snapchat asking where he put it. But over here is where the kids built their cubby house. The kids' cubby house is still standing. Could do with a few improvements, maybe fix the wall over there, kids. How are you supposed to survive in that? But nothing better than coming out here as a family to somewhere so remote. Didn't have Starlink back then either, and just getting away from it all and building things like that, going for walks. There's a whole section. So in that drone footage, you would have seen there was another lake back that way. Now that is Lake Tay. So Lake Tay is massive compared to Three Star, and there's a joining basically funnel that goes the whole way between the two lakes, and you can go all the way up to the other end there. I don't know if we'll drive up there. Oh, I might go for a drive. I don't know if I'll show you guys, but we'll go up there. You can get all the way to the very end and you can see that, and yeah, like it's just a beautiful area, which is, it's nice to get out and just reconnect with nature. Tell you what, it is a hassle using the old Bluetooth mics, but they do make a difference once you get them working, and it should make a hell of a difference now when I clip this on and start talking through this one. Well, at least I hope it did. So I just had a call with Dad. Honestly, Starlink, it is next level. Like, sure, Elon's a bit weird, but what he's done for all of us out in the remote areas is just amazing. I've been Snapchatting, people about where I am and what I'm doing, and then I just had a phone call with Dad out in the absolute remote area. I mean, you guys can Google Lake Tay and see exactly where it is, and that's where I'm having a phone call, because I've got old Uncle Elon on the back. Anyway, he's taken the fire pit. No, that's going to pop a tyre. They camp at that other area I was just talking about, so we're going to go out there, see if the fire pit is still there, and I might even show you that up there. I think there's a bit of a walk to get to the end, but anyway. So the last thing that sort of I had on my my list for a review, we've talked about everything essentially. The last thing was the team. Now the team all the way from the start to the end was fantastic, and obviously I can't do what I do without without getting people in and helping me, and everyone did a great job. It was it was a good seeding, and although it did take us a bit longer, we still got it done in the end, and plenty of moisture is what we were going into, so there was nothing to worry about there. So going that little bit later wasn't too bad. So yeah, the team went well, and next year will be better, because oh man, there's a massive tree over this. Oh no, it's all right, track goes around. Next year will be better because it's not all new. I know exactly what we're doing. I know how to fill the rates, how to calibrate. We'll have, because I've gone and done all the boundaries with mapping, everything will be fine there. We'll be able to do boundary fill. We'll be able to do auto path. We'll be able to do headlands last on some paddocks, which we will definitely give a go, and just compare. Why not? We'll have it able to do this year. Well, next year, Henry will have the exact same boundaries as us, so it will work. It'll work well on that, because we couldn't. I've explained it to you guys before, but we couldn't do it because our boundaries are different to Henry's, and it just wouldn't work. But yeah, next year, I'm looking forward to seeding next year, because it's not all new and we know what we're doing now. So yeah. Anyway, we'll keep driving. and we'll go and see if we can find this fire pit. We're not at the end yet where Mum and Dad normally camp and where the Terminator pit probably is, but I just love this tree. It is just a fantastic representation of when life gets you down, just keep on going, because it's a tree that's obviously fallen over in a storm, and then it's just kept growing. Like, it is, yeah, it's fantastic. So that right there is the join between the two lakes that I was talking about, and you'll see that this is actually new growth over here. We had a bad fire out here one year, and we actually came out here, and we had to burn all along the lake the whole way, and it was a massive burn back, a massive back burn, I should say. It was very successful. A lot of time and labour for everybody to come out and do it, but yeah, it was worthwhile doing because it protected us. Well, it has protected us for a couple of years now with lightning strikes and everything like that. But we're just driving around here because I believe up here is where Mum and Dad normally camp, and we'll see if we can find that fire pit. I cannot find the fire pit. I don't know where Mum and Dad actually camp up here. I've gone as sort of far as the track sort of takes you, but you never know. They might have taken another track and it's somewhere else. Now I've got to find my way out because this isn't a well-driven spot like like the other place, but I will find my way. So I'd say I'd leave the video here, but we'll go down to Lake Tay. You know, it's only 12:30, so I'm going to go down to Lake Tay and I'll show you guys that. So if you wanted to stick around for a couple more minutes, and we'll head down to Lake Tay. I say head down. For you, it's going to be a second. For me, it's going to be about an hour and a half to get there. But we'll go down there. I will show you the mine down there where we get our gypsum from. And yeah, then oh, was that a tyre? This could have just got interesting. That didn't sound good at all. We might as well find out together with this camera, and we'll go and see. Did I just pop a tyre? No, I reckon that was scuffed off that, but she looks all right. That sounded like a full-on sidewall pop. I don't know. Oh, I see. Right there. That's the culprit. Right there. Yep, that'll pop a tyre. Oh well, I've got remote monitoring for the tyres on the car, so I'll be able to tell if we do have a flat tyre or not. We will find that out together, probably in about 5 minutes' time. But yes, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to go to Lake Tay, so I'll see you guys there. If you're still with us, thank you for staying all this way. We're not at Lake Tay yet, but I do envision this has been the longest video that I've ever put out. I don't know how long it's going to be, but because I've talked a fair bit about a few different subjects, I'm going to guess it's going to be like 40, 50 minutes long. Anyway, as I'm driving along, I got to thinking about, you know, a couple comments that I've had, and always people want to see inside the cab, inside the boom, you know, with everybody else. And why don't I do it? And, you know, basically just, you know, give them the, you know, force it on them, give them the camera. Pretty simple answer to the whole reason that you only ever see my pretty face is nobody else would like to have the camera, and I'm not going to force it upon them. You know, I've asked Henry, you know, if he would like to have the camera, and he absolutely does not want to do it, and that is 100% fine. whenever we're obviously in the workshop and stuff like that, he's obviously happy to be there in the background and, you know, chat to the camera when it comes to that. But, you know, giving the camera is just not something that he wants to do, and I'm 100% okay with that. And it's same with all the casual workers we get in. I know that definitely, like during harvest, you know, because I was always talking about, you know, like Paige and Annabelle, and people are like, well, why don't we see them? Why can't we get in the cab with them? And the simple answer is it's not their job. You know, they don't want to do it. Yeah, I don't want to force it upon them. They've come here, you know, whoever comes here to work is coming here to work. They're not coming here to get on a YouTube channel. And, you know, a side effect of coming here to work is being on the YouTube channel. But you'll see that I do avoid people because, you know, a lot of people aren't comfortable being in front of the camera. And, you know, I definitely wasn't to begin with. And just forcing it on people, it's, yeah, I try to avoid that. So that's the reason why you only get to see me and you're not always in the cab with people. Now, Summers was different. Summers is the whole reason that we are doing this YouTube channel. So I didn't really give him a choice when it came to, you know, giving him the camera. I said, you've got the camera, there you go. So he doesn't get a say when it comes to stuff like that, or when it came to stuff like that. But yeah, that's the reason. I just wanted to, I know that only probably 30% of you are now listening, or watching, I should say. But you 30%, you're the OGs. You guys are the ones that always watch everything. And now you know the reason why, yeah, why it's just me you see and not everybody else. It's because nobody else wants to get in front of the camera, and I don't expect them to get in front of the camera. And yeah, I just, it's just the way that I operate the YouTube channel. I'd hate to make them have to go into a video whilst also focusing on their job. So we'll just keep them focusing on the job at hand instead of focusing on the camera and, you know, getting whatever's happening in the cab. So anyway, we are getting closer to Lake Tay. There is a couple side roads, so I'm going to have to jump onto Google Maps in a sec and just find out which side road to take, and hopefully I can cut off about a half-hour journey of driving around. Instead, I can just cut straight to it. But yeah, hopefully the next one, the next clip, we're at Lake Tay and we're not bogged or lost. And we've made it back to the road. So we'll head down to Lake Tay and we'll go and see what's down there. So out here, you can see this is all man-made. These berms, this has all been pushed up, and this is where the gypsum is. So there's a gypsum deposit here, and all around the, well, not all around the lake, but around the lake in parts is the gypsum deposit. And so whenever we're talking about gypsum on the farm and we're spreading it, this is where it comes from. So I don't know if this was where it came from this year. It might have been out the other side. But all this is, or was, gypsum, and they push it all up, and then trucks come out and pick it up. And yeah, you might wonder what's so good about gypsum. Well, it's very good for the crop, but also, not that this is what it's used for, but well, this stuff isn't used for it. But if you have a look at that gyp rock on your wall there, that is gypsum. So yeah, you can see, actually, probably this is where all the trucks were, just looking at all the tracks. So yeah, this is yeah, where the gypsum comes from. So next year, I'd probably guess that they'll push all the overburden off, and then they'll start pushing this. Obviously, it's not very deep, as you can see. It'd only be maybe a metre deep, if that, at a guess. So yeah, it's not very deep, but yeah, this is where it comes from. And with that, guys, I reckon we will leave the video there. So if you've made it this far, thank you for sticking along with us and watching it. But yeah, mostly just thanks for joining us on this seeding season. I have enjoyed filming every day I mean, it was a big task to try and do that and make sure I got them all uploaded at the right times. But I think it was worth it. I think you guys enjoyed watching basically the day-to-day. I definitely know that I'm going to enjoy watching it back when I'm older. And yeah, it's been good. It's been a good seeding. There's been some ups, there's been some downs, but all in all, it's been a very good seeding. So with that, I will say goodbye, guys. So thank you very much for watching. If you could hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and share it, that would be amazing. And I'll catch you in the next one.